The most important words of her life, Amanda Knox pleads for her freedom. Now a jury deliberates the fate of the American student and her former boyfriend, Raffaele Sollecito. Hello, it is 12 noon in Perugia in Italy. It's 6 p.m. in Manila. I'm Monita Rajpal. You're watching CNN, the world's news leader. This is World One, live from London. It's a story that's gripped audiences in Italy, the United States, and the UK for almost 4 years. Now the two young people at the center of it all will learn their fate. 6 members of the public and 2 judges make up the jury that will decide if Amanda Knox can leave prison and go home to the U.S. Knox and her former boyfriend, Raffaele Sollecito, are appealing their convictions for the murder of British student Meredith Kircher in November 2007. Well, legal expert Mark Ellis joins us here in the studio. He is the executive director of the International Bar Association. Mark, thank you very much for being with us. The defense lawyer for Amanda Knox has said when it comes to this appeal process, it's more about proving her innocence as opposed to the prosecution proving her guilt. And a lot of it depends on trying to convince this jury beyond a reasonable doubt that she had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, and I think that is absolutely right. And it focuses, I think, on a crucial piece of evidence, and that's the DNA evidence that played such an important role in the lower court's decision to convict these 2 individuals. So
2 judges there to make up part of this 8-person jury. They're not there to dictate or to tell the others which way to go, but to provide guidance, I would assume, because this is really based on a very technical nature of a case.
Yes, and this will be somewhat odd for those that live in common law systems to see an appeals chamber.
Gone now for about an hour and a half or so, and they're saying that they could come up with a decision, a ruling by 8 p.m. Local time. So we'll see what they come up with. There's a lot for them to think about and to go over. Mark, thank you very much for that. Let's move on to some other stories that we're following here on W1. Streams of people are flooding out of the Libyan city of Sirte as former rebel fighters prepare for an imminent all-out battle with defiant loyalists of Muammar Gaddafi. Cars packed with people and belongings are forming long lines at checkpoints out of the city. They're scrambling to get out before the city is turned into a battleground. Right. Phil, thank you for that. Phil Black there in Sirte. You're watching World One live from Worries London. About the future of the Eurozone are again dragging share prices lower at the start of a new trading week. Greece sent a fresh chill through the markets by saying it will miss its agreed deficit reduction targets this year and next. Well, that news came as the Greek cabinet approved a budget for 2012 that included steep cuts to spending. Parliament still has to okay the measures in that budget. Finance ministers of the 17 Eurozone countries are meeting in Luxembourg. They will discuss whether Greece has gone far enough to justify further emergency payments from their bailout fund. Well, we want to see what newspapers around the world are saying about this. The Europe edition of the Wall Street Journal has the headline, "For European shares, worst may not be over." It goes on to say, with few clear solutions on the horizon, the worry is the debt crisis plays out for quite a while longer, sapping confidence and paralyzing business activity. The headline in the Australian is "Markets brace as EU banking fears deepen." The article says, with expectations building that the Eurozone cannot survive in its current state, economists are warning that a breakup of the single currency would inflict a second Great Depression. And here in the UK, The Guardian's headline is "Failure to meet deficit targets puts Greek bailout in jeopardy." It says if Greece fails to meet the target, it will cast further doubt on its ability to steer safely through its current financial crisis and will send new tremors through global financial markets. One issue, many views. You can read all those articles in full at facebook.com/W1CNN. Well, stock markets around the world are taking a pounding after the forecasts from Greece. Nina DeSantis from CNN's World Business Today joins us now. Nina, it's not the first time that we've seen that that they were not able to meet the targets.
No, and especially those deficit targets, because one thing our viewers may or may not remember is that it was actually missing the deficit.
Well, this week, CNN looks at your green world. We'll be showing you cutting-edge ideas that can make a global impact. In India, it's back to basics for the beauty industry and beauty business. Women are ditching products made with chemicals and opting for lotions and potions made from natural sources. Malika Kapoor brings us more details. Let's bring you some of the stories that we're talking about here on World One. A former death row chef wants to pay for and cook every last meal for condemned inmates. You may remember this is a story we talked about a couple of weeks ago where the U.S. state of Texas announced it was stopping the tradition after a man executed last month ordered a huge meal and ate none of it. Well, that included chicken steaks, a pound of barbecue, fajitas, pizza and ice cream. The chef, Brian Price, wrote a book about the nearly 200 meals he cooked for the condemned prisoners. The Texas Department of Criminal Justice, though, has turned down his offer. It was a whirlwind romance that ended in a surprise engagement. Australian cricket legends Shane Warne and actress Elizabeth Hurley have confirmed they are getting married. The engagement ring is a square-cut sapphire ring reported to be worth about $40,000 to $80,000. Both Hurley and Warne have been married before. The actress has one son and the cricketer has 3 children. And take a look at this, folks. Is it a day at the beach or a beauty parade? Well, it's neither. It's an event that's helped Australia set a new Guinness World Record for the biggest bikini parade. 357 women paraded around a beach on the Gold Coast, breaking a previous record set by the Cayman Islands. The number would have been higher, but 4 women were disqualified for overdressing. You're watching World One. Much more still to come here on CNN. Stay with us. Amanda Knox and her former boyfriend have appealed to an Italian jury for their freedom. The pair were found guilty in 2009 of the murder of British student Meredith Kircher 2 years earlier. They addressed the court individually, pleading their innocence.
Io non sono quello che loro dicono.
I am not what they say I am.
As Matthew Chance has been listening to the proceedings, he joins us now from the court in Perugia. Matthew, you were inside the courtroom when all this was taking place. Describe for us how both Sollecito and Knox appeared. All right, Matthew Chance in Perugia, thank you. Afghan and Pakistani officials are locked in a war of words over who was behind the assassination of the former Afghan president Burhanuddin Rabbani. Rabbani was overseeing peace talks with the Taliban in Afghanistan. In the Philippines, it is the weather that can be deadly. 2 typhoons have hit the country in a week, killing 59 people. Officials confirmed that today. Typhoon Nalgae, which made landfall on Saturday, has claimed 4 lives so far. Typhoon Nisat, which caused flooding and continuous rain last week, killed 55 people. Well, for more on these typhoons, let's go on to Ivan Cabrera at the World Weather Center with more on these storms, these typhoons, their strength and where they're headed. Ivan?
Double blow there for the Philippines, just incredible stuff, and the typhoons just bisected the same area. They posted on that.
All right, Ivan, thank you. This is World One, live from London. Our sports update is coming up with Alex Thomas, and we are into the final 3 weeks of the Rugby World Cup, and the hosts' chances have suffered a major setback. Alex Thomas is here to tell us more of the bad news.
Yeah, not just your run-of-the-mill injury news either, Monita, because we're talking about Rugby Union's biggest star.
Very much, even though some of it was bad, but that's okay. We'll forgive you for that. You're watching World One live from London. Thank you very much for that, Becky Anderson, there live in Perugia. You are watching World One live from London. I'm Monita Rajpal. We thank you for joining us. Stick around. We will have an update of the news headlines at the top of the hour. You're watching CNN.